Let me tell you something, my good people. If there's a day that I truly, truly regret, is the day that I stole from my boss. She had trusted me so much. But again, I was desperate to impress the woman that I was in love with. This story is from the good year of 2018. I had just finished a diploma program from Zetech University where I was studying accounting. So life at the college was pretty difficult for me because there was no income stream for me. I had no family to be there for me. I had a bunch of alcoholic friends. My life was basically without color. But like they say, we are men, and men are meant to survive. Men are meant to always forge a way forward. So that's how life was for me, and I was truly, truly desperate for a job at that moment. I think at this point you also want to ask about my parents. My mom had unfortunately passed on when I was in third year of my college studies, and my dad had left home unceremoniously after the demise of my mom. We do not know why dad left, honestly. We do not know, because then we kind of feel that his heart was overwhelmed with grief and loss of his partner, who was my mom. So he wanted to, find a bearing of his own life. That's why he left. Sometimes we think that, perhaps he disappeared, he was a struggling alcoholic and all that. Basically, we do not know why dad left. So I had no one to call family. I had no one to call home. And always remember that a home is not a building. A home is two eyes and a heartbeat. Fast forward, I finished my diploma program in accounting. I relocated to Nakuru, where I hoped to get a job and start fending for myself. Even if it was at entry level, I was desperately in need of a job. So, like any other young graduate fresh into the job market, I sent my CVs all over the place, from job portals to newspaper adverts to online call to actions, name it. I used to send my CV over 10 times daily in a desperate search for something I would hold on to eke a living. It was very, very painful for me at that time. So from the blues, I got an email one day from a real estate company here in Nairobi. And this real estate company, they were looking for an entry-level accounting clerk who was supposed to be assisting the CEO of that particular real estate company to, balance books and take care of the usual balance sheets and all that. Basically, the things that I had, trained at Zetech College. So at that particular point when I was getting this particular job offer, I was living in Nakuru, where I had, began life post-college. But this particular job, this particular real estate company that was hiring was in Nairobi, all the way to the capital city of our beautiful motherland, Kenya. So I had to, make arrangements, get some little money, and, from friends again, and move back to Nairobi. And of course, my good people, that's what I did. Fast forward, I remember reporting to work, a very beautiful, sunny mid-morning. It was on a Monday. The people of that particular real estate company were very cordial. They were very nice to me. The HR was so friendly. My colleagues from, the ICT department and all other, the sales team, were very wonderful people who received me very well. And to be honest, I'm eternally grateful. So fast forward, I was given my contract, and the contract clearly spelled that my job was to assist the company CEO. I later learned her name was Miss Jacinta, a very well-mannered, well-educated, measured and apt lady level-headed and always on the go. So I was tasked with helping Madam Jacinta to manage her day-to-day balance sheets, bookkeeping, to help her analyze the cash flows and what's going on expenses, the usual basics tasks that are executed by accounting clerks. So after 2 straight months of diligently giving my all to the tasks I was executing for Madam Miss Jacinta, my boss, she began to speak highly of me. I made sure that her taxes were filed in a fashionable manner and in a timely manner. I made sure that her balance sheets were well taken care of, and all her weekly income cash were banked at the end of every week, and all the receipts remitted to her email. Everything was very smooth. She was proud of my hard work, and I was beginning to feel the effect of corporate Nairobi. It's also very important, my good people, to note at this point that at the time that I was working for this particular real estate company, I was in a relationship with a lady known as Naomi. Naomi was the love of my life, and we had promised each other to stick together until such a time that we would gracefully walk into matrimony. Of course, one sad thing that we were undergoing in our relationship is that Naomi's parents had really pushed her to get into marriage, and they had gone ahead of themselves and gotten suitors for her, men who they thought were best fitted for Naomi. And with all this confusion and with all these, cajoling coming on her way, she had said she was going to stick with me no matter what happens. Even without I was struggling phase in life, she was going to be there for me. And I was truly grateful. I was eternally grateful for her gesture of love. So having landed this job, my hopes of giving her a white wedding, a decent church wedding that she'd really fancied, were beginning to come out. 17K was, I could say, some little money, but with systematic saving, prioritization here and there, I was sure that within 1 year I would put up something together for her in the name of a wedding at our local church at Kasarani. So that was my situation there, and I was very grateful to God for everything He had done to us. And yes, I was staying with my girlfriend Naomi in a tiny bedsitter somewhere around Roysambu constituency. So fast forward, another beautiful Monday morning came. I left because she didn't have any job. She didn't have any work on her going on for her. Most of the time she was, just at home. So this very lovely Monday morning, I left her at the house, took a matatu and went to work as usual. The usual corporate rituals, morning meetings, a lot of reports, reviews, and after what seemed like 3 hours, I was asked by Madam Jacinta, my boss, to go and bank the cash that she had made the previous week. Because some of her clients used to pay in cash, others used to pay using the Safaricom till number and all that. So she would, put together the cash, and I would be sent to do the bulk deposits on her company bank account. It's also important at this moment, my good people, to know and to understand that my boss, Mrs. Jacinta, had a couple of businesses apart from the real estate. She had a hardware store, she had a fast food restaurant, as well as a pharmacy. So all these businesses were doing well, and all the profits were being channeled to the main office, where I was serving as a clerical accountant. So at around 10, she gave me some money. I think by the time we were doing the hard counting, it was around 700,000 shillings, Kenya shillings. And I was meant to rush to the nearest bank at Sarit Center, deposit it, the money, retrieve the receipt, the deposit receipt, give it to her so that I would, proceed with the cause of that particular day, which was a normal thing because that was what I kept on doing even at the point that I was being hired. My good people, the money was given to me, we counted and counter-checked. It was a perfect 700,000 shillings. They were stashed in 3 envelopes. So I took it, she gave me once again a bank account number and off I was. So it's between the office where we used to work, the real estate office, and the bank, the Sarit bank, that something struck my mind. Something struck my mind like with the speed of a lightning, and it was like those kind of thoughts that hit you and momentarily you become very confused, my people. I was like, why don't I get to the nearest boda boda, pick this cash, rush to my Naomi back in our little bed sitter in Roysambu, pick her and disappear. 700,000 with this economy was not little money. We were going to start afresh, buy new everything, you know, everything you want to think about, block everyone, go to a faraway land and start a business and leave. Without giving that particular decision a second thought, I saw a boda boda coming and I asked the boda boda just one question. Hey gentleman, how much would you get me to Roysambu right now in the shortest time possible? I was willing to give him anything so long as I got out of that particular place. I was not going to deposit this money. I was going to simply head to the house, pick my girlfriend. If it means going to JKIA and getting a flight out of Nairobi, that was the damn plan. My good people, the boda boda guy told me you'd take 1,500. I didn't care. I hopped into that motorbike and the first thing I did was to switch off my phone. And there we at this moment I was sweating, my mind was racing, I was in the middle of a very smooth robbery. I was stealing from Miss Jacinta, my boss, who had given me a lifeline at a time that I was so desperate in life. My good people, I think it's after 18 to 20 minutes we got the Thika highway, the jam was not that intense. And we were able to get to Roysambu. I got to the house and I found my Naomi, you know, cleaning up and, you know, being all dutiful. And I told her that, hey, I want you to leave everything that you are doing. I want you to just put on some nice clothes, put on some nice shoes. We are headed to the airport right now. Don't ask me anything. We are out of time. The plane may leave at any moment. I'm going to explain everything on our flight out of Nairobi. You have to dress right up right now. You have to, you know, we are not picking anything from the house. Leave it as it is. Because again, my people, what is there to be picked in a bed sitter? Just the bed or what? The kitchenware, household? No. We were going to start afresh. So, like she always did, she obeyed what I told her. She put on some clothes and using her phone, because mine had switched off, so that in the event that the office people begin, you know, reaching out to me, where I'm late and all that, they will not find me. I picked her phone and used it to, you know, get her an Uber. And at the time that the Uber was coming to pick us from the apartment gates, I gave the Uber guy a very clear-cut instruction. Kindly get to JKIA using the shortest route. If it's the bypass, if it's the outer ring road and all that, just make sure we get to JKIA as soon as we can, because we have a plane to catch. My good people, you can imagine the amount of adrenaline rush that I had at that moment. I was sweating, I was not settled, became very restless. I wanted to get to the first plane out of Nairobi. The 700,000 shillings that I'd taken from my boss, Miss Jacinta, was still stashed on my coat. I had not guzzled any of them. So the Uber driver was very candid to the instructions that I'd given him. He was like, you want to get to JKIA within the shortest time possible? Worry no more, I got you. We hit the road running and he cruised. And I remember 35 minutes, we were at the entrance, the main gate of JKIA. I was willing to pay anything for the first plane that was going to leave the moment we arrived at JKIA. I thought of Mombasa is quite a big county, and getting lost in the coastal villages was the great for me, because I didn't want to be somewhere where I would be easily located by the office people or police, because definitely, without a doubt, I knew that my boss, Madam Jacinta, would contact the police after, realizing that I had not come back to the office with the deposit receipt, neither was my phone on. So these police people can easily track you, even if you switch off your phone. So I became smart enough to leave my phone back as well. I left it in our little house back in Roysambu. So I was free. We were going to use, for communication purposes, we were going to use Naomi's phone. So it was well cut out. Without my phone, without my SIM card, there was no way you were going to trace where I am. And I was presently 700,000 shillings richer. We got to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and I remember sweating. I rushed to the customs office, the check-in lounge. We were able to, submit our national IDs, destination Mombasa, the first flight out of Nairobi. That was going to be in the next 15 minutes. So we had only 10 minutes to go through the check-in process and secure our flight seats. I must say that the entire process was very easy. We paid the flight fees. The documentation bit was awesome and meticulous. So I remember it was, I think, 8 to 10 minutes before walking into the airside for us to board. There was a little delay from the planes that were flying Mombasa-Nairobi route. So we were told to wait another 4 minutes. So myself and my girlfriend Naomi and our 700,000 shillings stolen from the office 1.5 hours ago, we were at the waiting bay of the airside waiting for the plane. It's at that moment, my good people, that my eyes locked with the eyes of somebody who was having a striking resemblance to a parent of mine. My blood literally froze when I saw and recognized my dad. And for a record 60 seconds, we were looking at each other straight. And given that family magnet, and given that blood ties, we approached each other with shock. And I was like, Dad, where have you been? Ever since Mom died, you left us. What are you doing at the airport? And he was like, hey, my son, I've not seen you for a very long time. How are you doing? I thought you were still at college. What are you doing at the airport? So I lied to Dad, shocked, sweating. Here he is. He's also, disoriented. He's like, okay, what's my son doing? So I moved fast and introduced Naomi, my girlfriend, to him. I was like, hey, Dad, this is my fiancée, Naomi. Yesterday I won a jackpot, a betting jackpot of this and this amount of money. So I'm flying her to Mombasa for, a few days so that I can get back to Nairobi. And I was like, wow, congratulations. You now even have a fiancé, meaning, you're drifting well into adulthood, And he was like, yo, I'm also okay. Just like you, I also have a fiancé. And together with her, we are flying to the coast to inspect a land property that we bought a few weeks ago. So apparently my dad had remarried or was dating. And I kind of felt bad that he was dating, you know, not even 3 or 1 or 2 years after mom had passed. I thought that was cruel of him. But again, so long as he was happy. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So together we could all go to Mombasa and have a family reunion, clearly. I had my money, perhaps with land at the coast, they had their money. It was going to be the very, very best thing. But then I asked Dad, where is your, you know, fiancée or wife or whoever she is to you? Where is she? Because, you know, clearly in the next 5 minutes, the plane will be leaving. It is at that moment that we had a voice from behind us calling my dad's name and, you know, calling me, honey, sorry, I'm late. Can we now proceed to the airside and board? And we all turned, and it's at that moment that my eyes met Madam Jacinta, my boss, who was apparently my dad's new wife. Madam Jacinta was there. She was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and I looked at the 700,000 that I had taken from her that morning. You can imagine the silence that followed. We stood at the airside, not sure whether to board or what to do next.